kind of thing Jordan would wear.
You know, we normally don't point that out to you.
I know, that's why it scared me.
That's a good thing.
Okay, so everything is on.
Everything is on.
You're not feeling well.
Yeah.
The rates look pretty
Turn
good.
it off.
Much better than it was, so.
Yeah, I just,
Is that
but
yours?
I don't, well, actually, Rob is about to use it right now,
Yeah.
but maybe,
What, you wanna use it?
no, I was gonna turn it, it was all on.
Oh. That's the kinder, gentler one.
Wow.
We'll be in session. Board of Education will convene its board, study session at 5, which clock are we gonna use? Well, let's use that one, 5:35. Connie, you're on.
Yes, sir. Good afternoon, Board Vice President Mr. Hammond and board members, Superintendent Dr. Torsten Kevin, and our lovely MT representative, Mr. Chu. So the governor, on May 9th, the governor released the May revision for the state of California. And yesterday, the district team, including Bob and the CSE representative, we participated the School Service California, the budget study workshop. And we do have some good news from yesterday as well as the May revision. So some of news, definitely good news. So this is the summary of what is the May revision. Basically, the May revision, the budget assumption, the state will use it to prepare state's 1920 state budget. The district also will use its K-12 budget proposal to develop our district 1920 school district budget. And because of the April strong internal, the individual income tax, it will allow the state give some of the additional revenue passed to the K-12 for our education. And one of the additional revenue is the state's willing to put more money to release the school district, the CalSTRS employer responsibility, which is reduce the pension plan rate increase for the next years. The other thing, May revision also warning us, hey, be conservative in the future year. Maybe the economy growth will be slowed down, which means that the funding for the public school will not as high as current years. So this slide basically is comparison which the governor released in the January 1920 preliminary budget, which the district used for the second internal quarter, which the board approved back to March, compared with the one we're going to use for developing 1920 school district budget. So the first three lines is the quota, which means the revenue, and the next year the quota will decrease 0.2%.
Can I ask?
Yeah.
COLA is cost of living?
Yeah,
Okay.
adjustment. Yeah, that's correct. And then the 2021 is increased a little bit, and then the 21-22 also dropped for 0.12%. The next couple of row is regarding of the pension plan. So the first three is for
I'm sorry, I want to ask another question.
Mhm.
This May revision, the percentages
Mhm.
under the May revision, that's the district contribution?
That's correct.
Okay.
Yeah, the district percentage in percent applied the total salaries for certificate employees versus classified employees. That come to total.
So it's for
Yeah.
both certificated and classified?
Yes, the
No,
certificate
the-
is CAR stands for certificate.
No, but I'm talking about the first ones, the COLA ones.
That-
That's for all employees?
That
No,
is a
that's for the
contribution from the state to the school district for all employees. The cost of living, that is not a district contribution.
Okay, so the COLA is not our contribution.
No, that
No.
is what the
State
state,
contribution.
yeah, gives us.
That's our revenue
That's
stream.
revenue.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's the revenue streams. That is applied for the current this year's revenue the state provide to us, and the change from this year to next year. The cost is the district contribution towards employee retirement plan. The first is for the certificate employee, and the first is for classified employee. So, the 17.8% for the 21-22 is the additional new information received from yesterday, which means that the state, do plan, to add a $150 million for the additional contribution in May revision. So that is further decrease the 21-22 district responsibility for the contribution for the STRS. The next three, is towards the classified employee, which is PERS. The PERS, unfortunately, this year do increase 0.033%. That equivalent to around a couple of $1,000, which is $2,600 for next school year. And the STRS, yesterday School Service of California also tell us that the state do plan to add some money to reduce the district burden for the classified employee also. But we're still waiting for the more information in regarding what is exactly the reductions for the percentage.
So we got some money to help reduce the STRS, but we didn't get money to help reduce the PERS contribution.
Oh my God, I did.
Yes,
That's
that's
correct.
correct.
But there is talk that perhaps we will
Oh my God.
get help with that. See, it's because,
Yeah, that's correct.
because Charlie was in.
Yeah.
Keep going, Matt. That's it. That's the next slide.
Yeah. Do you have any more questions from
No,
Seth?
I'm sorry.
Okay, no problem, no problem. So, that is exactly, Celine, we talk about what is the quota for next year looks like, how this quota apply for the funding level for each students, which means at the ADA level. So depend on the students which grade they attend. So this is how the quota apply. So each grade you apply the quota, and then for the K-3, and there's additional add-on is for the class size reduction. If the district have keep the class size at 24.4 to 1, then the district,
24.4?
that's correct. That is the standards. Or the district has an agreement, MOU, with the bargaining unit, which is our district current year we have. So this allow us to bump our classes to 26.5 to 1. Because we meet this requirement, the district still receive this additional annual money.
That's for K-3.
That's correct.
How
So,
long is that for?
no, unfortunately, this year's end, because the original MOU is only last year, this year. So if we extend, then both district and MTA need to reach another new agreement.
And to clarify, the class size reduction, grade span K3 is or TK3 really, would be for 24.5
Okay.
to 1.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So that is the CSR for the grade 9 to 12. So that is the career tech. The career tech for grade 9 to 12, that will be additional money add on. That is $243. So the district will receive that money. And this is a detail for the 1920, how each ADA, depending on which students, which grade they attend, how the funding looks like.
Connie, when you say the MOU is going to expire this year, is that the school year, the fiscal year, or the calendar year?
It's the school year, same as the fiscal year, because
Okay.
our district school year is the same as the fiscal year. Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
And the column that, the COLA column,
Mm-hmm.
is that the base grant amount per student?
Per ADA.
Okay, per ADA.
Yeah, yeah. So, governor is very passionate about the early childhood. He willing to invest more money for the early childhood various program. So this is a 3 program, but I would like the board and Cabinet and Bob focus on the paid family leave. This is the major impact to our district, which his proposal is currently the paid family leave is 6 weeks. He is going to extend to 8 weeks. So which is additional 2 more weeks. So really the impact to us is when an employee on the paid admin leave, the job is, the work is still there. So if we can avoid, we do, but certain, such as instructional aid, the classroom teacher, we may not. We need to need to have a higher temper serve to fill in because the employee is on the paid admin leave. So as a result, there will be additional cost from the district side.
Who pays their leave though? Doesn't the state pay their leave?
No, the district, because they are our employee. So we will pay their salary because this is a paid family leave. So even if they are not working and the district have to continue to pay their salary, that's called paid leave, yeah.
Are there limitations? Do they have to work a certain number of hours or be employed for a certain amount of time?
So I'm not aware of, Darwin, do you know the limitations? At least they need to pass
At least
probation, right?
Yeah, or 1,250 hours.
Yeah,
The lesser of or the greater?
No, 1,250 hours
So they need to be here for at least 1250.
to qualify for that
yeah. 12,
statutory benefit.
1250,
Is that-
1250, you time
You
8 hours
can
per
get that
day.
in the, you can
Yeah.
get that in the year.
Yeah. Okay. So that is certificate employee, Darwin, right? 1250?
Mhm.
Okay, so classified employee probably have a different rule
Yeah,
regulation.
I'd have to check that.
Yeah, okay. So, workforce and the governor also realized that the urgency for short of the teachers in the state of California, and the government is busy with permission and the waivers. So here's three part of money and all one-time non-publishing 98. One is for the wrong assumption for the newly credentialed teacher. The other one is the training for the build capacity. The third one is the professional training for the school side admin.
I want to go back, I'm sorry, Connie.
Uh-huh,
I want to talk about that green box for a second.
green box,
Yeah.
That's right.
okay. Okay,
I want to talk about the hypocrisy here. So what funds it?
Cannabis.
yeah,
What, marijuana? So marijuana is going to fund school kids. Okay. I just want to get it out there in public. I just love the hypocrisy.
Taxes on cigarettes fund early, first buy.
Then they're going to tell you don't do it, but they're going to have to have you do it because they need the money because they have the programs. You already budgeted. We're budgeting drugs to teach our kids. Good idea. Okay.
can we move it?
We're done now.
Okay. So, that is the called the teacher workforce investment, so it is all one-time money. And, I had, one sheet at the end of the PowerPoint explain what is Proposition 98, because you will hear a lot of non-Proposition 98. So Proposition 98 is basically, years ago, is a voter-approved constitutional amendment that guaranteed the minimum funding level for the K-12 and the community college. The timer is the last page of the handout, yeah, so. So the other additional money is for the computer science education and the student data system. The state is willing to pass the money for the statewide broadband infrastructure. They realize the urgency for provide more training or classroom instruction for the students for the computer science area. And the other one is the student data system. So the district still waiting for more information from state, how those more money actually come to us, including the teachers' workforce investment as well as computer science. This is a statewide proposal, but we're still waiting for the detailed guideline, how much to reach to each school district. So routine restrict maintenance, back to March when we proposed, when the board approved the second interim report, the state did kind of leave a surprise because they want the district increase our contribution for the routine restrict maintenance from 2% to 3%. So this 1% is impact for us is around $670,000. So we look at the guidelines, say, how can we use this money? Basically, it allows for the maintenance workers, which is the most like our MOT staff, and the maintenance supplies, we already count that portion. Classify the custodial staff. So we look at the district-wide custodial staff, their job description, And in their job description, part of their job description, they do prepare some very small portion of the maintenance at the school site. So as a result, we will, for their labor distribution, which means how each employee will get paid from different resources, we will, some of their percentage will be paid will be paid for routine maintenance account from this additional 1% required to minimize our general fund impact. So that we're going to do, and that we will submit for board approval in the next board meetings. So we have also some good news from
What
the
was
federal.
the last thing on their indirect costs at the LEA's approved rate? Is that what you were just?
And the indirect cost is every program, the category program is allowed the district charge indirect cost. The ALE rate is each school district has a different indirect cost. Our rate for this year is 6.94%. What is our next year's rate?
6.86.
06. So which means is because district office we process the payroll, we pay the bills, we pay the hiring the people. So this kind of combination as an indirect cost to charge the program. So this program also allow the district charge indirect.
So we're
Basically
including that as the 3%, the work that we're doing to pay it? So is that another group's salary that we're including in the 3%?
no, that means is the 3% the district requires set aside. And a part of the money the district is general fund is allowed to charge them for the general fund service. For example, all the majority of district office employee is general fund, but we provide service for all the district entire program. So the California accounting school district accounting manual allow the district general fund to charge a different program for the cost of the service. So that called indirect
So
cost.
Connie, is that
Yeah.
a new thing that we can charge, multi-fund our current staff? Or not multi-fund, but attribute to this? Is that a new thing?
For the maintenance
No,
workers and
that's,
supplies?
That's existed before?
yeah, that's not new things,
Okay, so it's just a new way that we're going to categorize.
That's correct, because a couple of years ago, because the budget cut, the state allowed the district set aside a lower rate.
Right.
So our existing maintenance costs were able to use all those 2% set aside. When they increased to 3%, then, which means the additional $670,000, general fund money need to switch the part. So then the district say, how can we take advantage with the legal allowable cost to minimize the impact for the general fund? That is with the research that is allowable for the custodian who is performing the small maintenance maintenance duty, then we will definitely do that.
But so before, then when it was just a 2% reserve for that, we weren't billing for maintenance workers or maintenance supplies out of that 2%.
We do. The only we did not is custodian staff.
So that's the only new part.
That's correct.
Okay, so that's what's new.
Yeah, it is allowable, but we have not taken advantage because we were able to use all the money. But now additional funding will give us opportunity to use that. So this is federal money, which is additional funding for the Title I for special education. Hope the special education will help a little bit. Head Start, just information for the board. The district do not have a Head Start program. So this is the dollar amount impact. Yeah, this is the, any
Can
question?
you go back to
Yeah.
the
Sure.
other slide and explain it a little bit more?
So this means is the federal government will be give additional $100 million for the Title I grant.
So Sue, why
Okay.
don't you explain what Title I funds are used for, essentially?
Title I is a program that is funded based on the number of low socioeconomic children that we have in our district. And so we are given money based on the number of students, and then that grant comes in and it's subdivided between 6 of our schools, the 5 elementary schools and Canyon Oaks. And the funds are then targeted to close the achievement gap for kids. So it funds programs such as the interventionists that are at our elementary schools. It funds programs at Canyon for basically all of their kids have access to the programs that it funds. It funds programs that are engaging for students, and all of our schools are school-wide programs, so we're not restricted to the child that accesses those programs, but the money needs to be principally directed at these students.
And then, oh, I'm sorry, go ahead. I was gonna move on. You have a question about Title I.
Could this money go for summer school?
Yes, and it does.
Special education, I think, is self-explanatory, and Head Start is a program for early childhood education, and it is a very specific program that is different from what we offer at our Canyon Early Learning Center. So that Head Start funds will never make it here unless we create a Head Start program within our CELC. And up to now, it's been too difficult to try and figure out the requirements of all of it to merge the
Is
programs.
Head Start is it earlier than school age?
No, it's the same.
It's just a different type of program.
Mhm. And so to merge both programs has been logistically, it's the technical parts of it and the compliance parts of it that make life a little more challenging, and we've not been able to. The challenge with, this is very exciting for all of us. We're hoping this makes a difference. We just don't know how that funding is gonna come to our districts just yet. So it's a promise.
You want to move on, Kathy?
Yeah,
Okay.
thank you.
So this is actually the dollar amount and changes compared with the second slide, which is showed earlier with the January and the May, the percentage changes with the COLA changes, with the STIRS contribution changes, and then as well as PERS. So for the revenue side, minus, which means that we receive less revenue. For the expenditure side, with the minus, which means that cost less, which is favorable for the budget. Yeah, any question? Okay.
Why isn't there a figure in STIRS cost reduction 2020-21?
Okay.
Between the January and the May, there was no difference in the proposal. So it's remained stagnant.
So, what is the next step? What is the, when we had to finish our budget is, the governor did try to invest or allocate more money to special education program, and the name called the Special Education Readiness Grant. But however, there's a lot of disagreement on how the funding allocated to come to the school. So there's a lot of alternatives. So we're still waiting for the detailed plan from the state to say how the additional more money come to each school district. Actually, as I mentioned before, there's a plan that the governor want to contribute state funding to further reduce the district cost pension rate reduction, but we haven't seen the detailed concrete plan yet. So that is waiting on the waiting list. So we are not planning to budget on these two items. And the challenge that we have is we're probably already, most of the board member and cabinet and also Bob probably already aware of, is the LCF funding is already meet its target back to 17-18. So starting this year and next year, all the funding is covered because the increase is covered, no additional major funding changes. The decline in enrollment and the impact most of the school district and including us. So the car store, the PERS increase, although the rate is decreased, but for the car stores, so the increase every year is around 17-18%. and the CARPERS is worse. CARPERS next year is 20.733, and third year is 24.93. So it is very significant. The health insurance cost and every year we are increased, and lucky that next year our rate is 3.84%. In the last 6 years, our rate is from 2.1 can be high as 6.5. So that is the cost we will close monitor watch on that one. The special education cost, our encroachment is over $3 million. That is a lot.
Each year.
Yes, in the last couple of years. This year is 7.7. So we are looking for the various way reduce costs. We already have a plan. We by changing our legal firm, and we do see that we projected this year's cost will compare with last year will be decreased. But other area we need to close monitor to see. We just need to be creative to see whether other funding can be proportionately or paid for our special population. I'm not talking about core service, but at least provide additional service for the special kids students who are in the low income category, who are English learner. So we just be more creative. Okay, thank you. Any question? That is our schedule for the next couple of meeting. This is just first part of board study section, and we do have another one for next board meeting, June 12th, and we will give detail the board adopt the budget for 1920 because it's a public hearing scheduled on that board meeting, and then once the governor sign state budget, which is scheduled on June 15, then the district has legal responsibility within 45 days to revise ours. If there's final changes compare May revision versus the final adopt its budget. And then when school is end, summer started, we're going to starting the year-end process. As Marissa mentioned, that our fiscal year ended June 30th, then we're going to start the year-end closing.
Connie, real quick, the LCAP public hearing, that is on what day?
And the same as the same day, June 12th.
June 12th.
June 12th.
Yes.
That all happens the same day, so is it
That's
right
correct.
before the regular board meeting?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, no, it is
It's
during.
during.
It
Yeah.
is during, okay, it's
You
not
will-
a separate
it's-
meeting that I
it's
need to
open
put on my
inside
calendar.
there.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yes, but we will have a study section, and I'm pretty sure that me and Dr. Kaiser, we will present together. And
Yep.
yeah.
Thank you.
You mentioned there's talk about giving additional to PERS.
Mm-hmm.
Do we hope to see that by his June budget?
Hopefully, but that's just the information we received from yesterday from School Service
So
California.
we could see that
Yeah.
by June?
And
We could, that's only thing the hope.
So-
We won't see it in time for me to include it in the budget.
In the
That
May-
is-
in the
because it
June.
needs to be done
So it'll
before
be in
that.
the fall.
But we might have it in
revised?
time to explain it at that meeting.
So
Okay, and
the-
then it would be in the October?
Then it
No.
would be in the 45-day budget that we bring
Okay.
changes.
the governor's budget is approved by June 30th, after which we have 45 days to revise our budget, propose it to you for adoption. So we have time after the governor signs that and that budget passes to modify whatever we've identified.
Any other questions? I only have one suggestion. It's a word thing. It's hard to use the word good news, so we could use less than bad. I would appreciate that.
Sure.
And if there's no other, then we will adjourn our study session at 6:04.